All right, Elizabeth, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Elizabeth.
How old are you?
8.
What grade are you in?
3rd.
And what Doctor Who book are we talking about today?
Marco Polo.
And you've read all the Doctor Who books up to this point, right?
Yep.
Can you name them all?
An Unearthly Child, the Daleks, and the Edge of Destruction.
Good. Right away, what did you think of Marco Polo?
It was just boring.
Oh, geez. Okay, it was boring.
Yes.
We're talking about the book, or are we talking about the... So let's start. We read the book, and then we watched a reconstruction, because the episode is lost. So was the book boring, or the reconstruction boring, or both?
The reconstruction was kind of boring because they didn't move, but I thought both were boring.
What was boring about it?
Up to the end, nothing really exciting happened, though, which is kind of awkward because I like exciting things.
Was there anything of value in this story? Anything exciting at all? Did you enjoy any of it?
Well, no, actually. The end was the only exciting part.
Okay.
Kinda.
What did you know about Marco Polo the person before you read this story?
Nothing.
You didn't know anything about it?
No, I don't.
You had never heard the words Marco Polo before?
Well, that's kind of a game we play when we swim. So.
Yeah?
But there's nothing else I know about it.
What do you now know about Marco Polo?
He was an explorer and he worked for Kublai Khan.
Kublai Khan.
Ugh!
Yeah.
I'm so bad at pronouncing stuff.
Who's Kublai Khan?
The Emperor.
And do you know who his grandfather was?
No.
Have you ever heard of Genghis Khan?
No.
Okay.
How do you rate this book? And if you say 7, I'm going to be mad.
No, I can't still say that. All right, yeah, let's rate it. I actually have a new system of rating the episodes.
You do?
Yeah, I'm grading every Doctor Who story on a curve. What that means is I can only give a few stories like a 1, 2, 3, or a 7, 8, 9, and then all the ones in the middle get like a 4 through 7. So I actually gave this story. You have to give your score first. What would you give it out of 10?
0.
Okay,
It was boring.
You can give it a 1. You can't give it a 0.
Yeah, it's a 1.
You give this a 1?
Yes.
Okay, I gave it a 3, which is pretty low.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
I could see it going to a 4. I don't see it going to a 2. But there's going to be much worse stories than this.
Oh my god. There better not be.
If you had to fix this story, how would you fix it?
There would be a lot of excitement and fighting.
Can you be more specific?
There would be more violence.
If I had to fix this story... Yeah, so I also found this story very boring. It did something I really didn't like, which it repeats the same plot point multiple times.
I know.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, because they're just going to the Summer Palace. And they are traveling, and it's annoying, and it's just annoying.
That's not what I was referring to. The plot point I'm referring to is... On multiple occasions, they get the key and they go to sneak away in the TARDIS and they get caught.
Yes, that happens every single time.
It happens basically...
Except for at the end.
It happens basically 3 times, yeah.
Yes, it gets annoying
and
when you get used to it.
As we're reading the book was almost over by the time we meet Kublai Khan.
I know that.
And then they travel again from the Summer Palace to what was called Peking in the story.
Yeah.
Which was completely unnecessary.
It was unnecessary.
Because our heroes just keep trying to escape and run off in the TARDIS, they never actually get invested in the other 2 plots, which are Ping Cho's marriage and Takana's treachery. And so you end up having an A, a B, and a C plot, right? You've got them trying to get away in the TARDIS, you've got Takana's treachery, and you've got Ping Cho's marriage. But the B and the C plots never amount to anything because our heroes don't really care about them throughout the whole story.
Yes.
So if I were going to change it, I would intermingle them getting the TARDIS back with revealing Tagana's treachery. Perhaps by, say, making Tagana the one who confiscates the TARDIS or something like that. And so then I would have them be more proactive in trying to catch Tagana. Then you would have this like game of wits as they were traveling through China or Cathay. And then, I would just give Barbara and Susan more to do in trying to help Ping Cho get out of her marriage.
Yes.
But, there's just nothing happens.
They're just traveling, and Tagana wants to take the Tartarus. That's basically all that happens.
Yeah. I did not like Kubla Khan or the Empress at the end. They tried to play them for laughs in the show. It didn't work. It was lame.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Did you notice any differences between the book and the reconstruction we watched?
Yes, I actually did. When they first separated it was because Ping Zhou was going to get married, and she was in a separate room and rode a different horse. But in the first time when they were caught, it was because they snuck out to the Cave of 500 Eyes to find Barbara.
Okay. Any other differences? The ending is completely different.
Wait, what?
In the book, Tagana captures Kubla Khan and locks the door and is going to kill him.
Yes.
And the doctor leads Lu Tang through the secret entrance.
He does.
And Lu Tang shoots him with an arrow.
Yes.
In the episode, there's a big sword fight between Marco Polo and Tagana.
Yeah. And then he disarms Tagana.
Yes.
It's like,
Then what happens?
I think Tagana killed himself.
Yeah.
Why does he kill himself?
Because he's been captured and I don't know.
Yeah, it's because he has no chance.
Yeah.
That's a bust.
It's weird. These novels, the purpose of these novels, the reason they exist was because many, many, many years ago, we did not have Netflix or Disney Plus, and there was actually no way to watch these episodes. Even the episodes that weren't lost, they weren't aired in reruns. And so if you missed the episode when it aired and you wanted to know the story, you had to read the books. So in that sense, it's a little weird that this one changes the ending. But it also seems unnecessary and doesn't fix anything in the book.
But they were probably trying to make the movie more exciting since the book was kind of more boring than the movie because... Yes,
but remember in this case, the show came first and the book came many, 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 many years later.
So they were trying to make the book more boring?
I don't know why they changed it. It doesn't make any sense.
It just doesn't make any sense.
And this is the first time where the author of the novel and the author of the episode are the same person, John Lucarotti. Which is an Italian last name, and his grandfather was an Italian sculptor or something.
Okay.
So he may have been starting with his script and turning the script into the novelization. Whereas when they went to shoot the episode, I know some of the things changed in the script. Ian is given a lot more to do in the episode than he is in the book. In the book, it's the Doctor and Marco Polo who have all of the conversations and the chess matches.
Yeah. Oh,
and in the show,
Ian has to do everything.
Ian does a lot more.
Yes.
Barbara gets nothing to do in both stories.
That's right. Neither does Susan, kind of. What's also weird is that Ping Zhou had to get married to a 75-year-old guy when she was 15, and she never met him. That's why I don't like arranged marriages, because they have to marry someone that they've never even met before.
Yep.
I don't like that.
Yeah, me neither.
Completely awful.
Yeah, we also briefly talked about the fact that Tagana was played by a British actor and not a Chinese actor, as well as most of the male Chinese characters in the story were played by white actors. Which we talked about as not being cool.
Yeah, that was
cool. He doesn't do like an accent. It feels like he's doing Shakespeare. And I actually really liked the actor who played Tagana. Did you not like the actor who played Tagana?
Kind of didn't.
It's hard to appreciate because we don't see him actually acting in anything. But from the stills and from what we hear, he was probably the best part of this episode.
He did make everything more exciting.
Now, Elizabeth, most people for the most episodes are going to watch the episode and then have to decide whether or not to read the novelization. Because this episode doesn't exist, they have to choose between reading the novelization or watching the 7-part reconstruction.
Which
So
is just pictures.
Which is just pictures. So if someone were going to only do one of those things, which one would you recommend?
I would recommend the show because Takana kills himself at the end, and I like violence.
Okay, you're making me look like a bad.
But I would also.
You're making me look like a bad parent.
But I also would recommend the book because I like reading, and anyone who likes reading should read the book.
Okay, but you have to pick one.
Book.
You pick the book.
Yes, I picked the book.
I'm going to pick the reconstruction.
Why would you pick that? It's just pictures with words showing what they are doing.
Because neither one are very good, and
Yeah,
the
that's
reconstruction is probably going to be a smaller investment of your time.
Yeah.
It is probably the most photographed episode of classic Doctor Who, and so the reconstruction is also in full, beautiful color, right? The pictures were really
It is
well
nice. It is just beautiful. I also don't like the gong and the same tune for every way station they stop at because I'm expecting the tune and the gong for like everything that happens when it goes into a lower part.
Is there anything else you want to talk about Marco Polo? Or Doctor Who in general, since you've read all the books and you've seen all the stories, but this is your first time on the podcast.
Yeah, that's right, because Josie gets all the attention.
Okay.
She's not scared of Doctor Who, because I kind of am. It's, like, creepy. Well, An Earthly Child was also boring, because...
The cavemen?
Yeah, because they just had cavemen, and they're running away from cavemen, and it's the first book, so they're kind of introducing you to the Tartarus and everything, so... The Daleks are more interesting, kind of like that one, like Josie does.
Yeah, so this episode is what we call a historical, because there's no elements of sci-fi. There's no aliens, there's no robots, there's no monsters. It's just them landing in China and interacting with historical figures. Cathay, sorry. Do you think you would like to see more historicals, or do you want to see more science fiction?
I kind of want to see both, because I want to learn about the past, and I kind of like robots and stuff.
Okay.
But I kind of don't.
Well, I think there's a pretty even balance for this era of Doctor Who. But the historical is ultimately something that kind of gets left behind and they stop doing them.
No.
Yeah. It is, even though this is a historical, the TARDIS plays a big part of this story. Because it is, from Marco Polo's point of view, like this science fiction element. Yeah. And it drives the plot. But it kind of bothers me that Marco Polo never bothers to go into the TARDIS. They keep trying to write in reasons that he wouldn't go in that don't make any sense. Whereas if he had gone into the TARDIS, it would have completely changed the story.
And then you would see how big he is and how it would hold a bunch of people and things in his experiments.
Yeah, he sort of takes too much at face value. Yeah, most of what I know about Marco Polo and Kublai Khan is from a Netflix TV show, which you are too young to watch. But I actually would generally recommend, certainly over this. So your favorite story thus far is the Daleks? Okay.
My favorite story thus far might be The Edge of Destruction, because they're trapped in the Tartarus, and it plays a big role in that story, too, because they're literally trapped in it because it won't let them out, because then they would die.
The TARDIS.
Ugh.
What are you saying?
TARDIS?
TARDIS.
It's supposed to be TARDIS.
It's an acronym. And if you had to pick a favorite companion at this point in time, who would it be?
Probably Susan.
Susan?
Maybe Barbara.
Okay.
How would you pick?
Right now it is still Ian, but there is a big Barbara episode coming soon, which we may have you on for. We'll see.
Yeah.
But next week, or next month, or whenever we do this, it will be Josie talking about Keys of Marinus.
Ah.
Which you can certainly read and watch if you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need a sign off for when the podcast is done.
Okay.
So have you thought about what your sign off is going to be?
Yes.
Hey, what is it?
I recommend Doctor Who. Bye.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone.